Tom, difficult lesson to learn that, mate, isn't it? You've not been in the game long, but, you know, it's just one of those things you have to crack on. What happened out there?
Well, I got the lead of the race, as you know, and threw it all away through Beckett's, and very disappointing, very disappointing. I'd only just got the lead as well, so, yeah, but no one to follow through that corner, and there was debris on the track, bit of oil maybe, and, yeah, overcooked it, should have gone a bit steadier.
Paul, you're spotting a bit of damage on the Sirocco. Not a great race, eh?
No, it was a very interesting race, bit of argy-bargy, but coming into the complex, I basically became a sandwich between two cars. The wheel was sticking out, which got took out, so that then made going around a right-hand corner almost impossible, and I was praying that the checkered flag had come out. There was one more lap, I think I'd have lost 2 more places.
It's a bit of a mixed grid here for the last race today, VAG Trophy. John Stevens is on pole. He finished second in the last race. Can he win his first race? There's a bit of rain in the air. It's over to Ben in the comms box.
Thanks, Paul. Rain in June, heaven forfend. Nonetheless, it is John Stevens who starts in pole alongside Paul Taylor. Then Michael Epps and Didge Durinsky on the second row from John Robbins and Simon Tomlinson. Further back, will Rob Allen continue his demolition of Class B? He's got the likes of Barry Cully who'll be chasing him down. Hopefully Damiano Marcano will make it to the start line this time around as we get ready for the final time this weekend at Silverstone in the MaximumGroup.net VAG Trophy. And away we go, and it's a very good start from John Stevens in the Passat, but Paul Taylor has always been a demon starter, and he looks to challenge to the inside in the set. He can't find a way past as Michael Epps challenges to the outside as they head through Copse Corner for the first time. And it's Stevens who leads, Epps in second place, Taylor in third, Lee Christopher, the bright orange Scirocco, in fourth, and then Didge Durinsky in the Golf in fifth position as they pick their way through Beckett's. A little bit cleaner than last time around, and so nobody falling by the wayside in these early stages as Richard Morgan runs out a little bit wide as they head down the hanger straight for the first time. As Michael Epps looks to draw alongside John Stevens, and Epps is going to go past it, and indeed he does. So Michael Epps takes the lead of the race early on, and Stevens now under pressure from Paul Taylor, and Taylor possibly trying to slide through at Stowe. Lee Christopher holding watching brief. Then we've got James Parle and Tom Swain. They're having a nice scrap just behind, and Taylor a little bit sideways through the Vale. Suggests that maybe we might be having 1 or 2 little spots of rain out on this far side of the circuit before they pick up the pace and head past Formula 1 wing pits. There is the battle amongst the Class B front runners, and as ever, Rob Allen right to the fore of it, scrapping with Chris Moen. So into the loop for Michael Epps around the tight left-hander, and then applying the throttle down the Wellington straight. John Stevens solidly in second, and Lee Christopher up to third, clear of Paul Taylor. Then Durinsky next along. Them running a little bit wide, but for Epps looking for the clean sweep in the MaximumGroup.net VAG Trophy on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. The ex-Formula V racer in full command of the race. The real scrap is the one probably that's underway for third position as Epps accelerates out of Luffield and through Woodcote. The key is going to be here, if Lee Christopher and Paul Taylor battle too much amongst themselves, it's going to bring the likes of Didge Durinsky and the rest of that group into the mix. And also Christopher, with the hurry up from Taylor, might find himself closing up on to John Stevens before too long as they come out of Copse Corner. There's a gap where Didge Durinsky should have been, and there is the answer. The Golf comes to a halt. You can see Durinsky gesticulating inside the cockpit. He is not happy about that. John Stevens should be overjoyed with the performance of the Passat so far this weekend. Taylor in fourth, still applying the pressure to Lee Christopher. Christopher, who spun away his chances in race 2 very early on. This time a much more consistent performance at the wheel of the Scirocco. So he just runs out to the curb at Club Corner. Picks up the pace for the sprint towards Abbey. Durinsky is pushed away by the marshals. So still this fight for second place continues. Michael Epps leads the way, and comfortably so, as through Copse Corner, about 5 car lengths separating these 3 protagonists for the final 2 spots on the podium. Over the slight crown in the road, the next group of cars very, very close. That's Alex Jurinsky from Richard Morgan, and then James Pyle, who almost pushes Morgan through Copse Corner. Pyle, who was involved in that 3-car incident we had at the end of race 2. And both he and Morgan are drivers whom we would normally expect to see a little bit higher up the order. It shows how strong, how much strength and depth there is in the maximum group VAG Trophy field. Also showing very well at the moment is Simon Tomlinson. He is in pursuit of Paul Ivans in the green Scirocco. So Tomlinson well up inside the top 10 as Pyle has found a way past Richard Morgan by the time they arrive into the Vale. So Pyle sneaks past. His next target is Alex Jurinsky. It's going to be quite close enough to challenge the Corrado of Jurinsky as they go through Club. He might be able to do so on the run towards Abbey as Pyle moves to the inside line for Abbey. He breaks a little bit later than Jurinsky and eases his way past. Meanwhile, further down the order, Amy Jurinsky is busy battling with Paul Inglis. This is for 18th place. It's one of the beauties of this championship that whatever your level of experience, wherever you are in the field, there is normally always someone to have a close scrap with. In Class B, by the way, it is currently Rob Allam who leads that and controls it reasonably comfortably as we head towards the latter stages of this race. Amy Jurinsky not quite able to find a way past Inglis as they arrived into Stowe. Meanwhile, the fight for second continues as Lee Christopher now right onto terms with John Stevens. Stevens pitches the Passat onto 3 wheels through Brooklands, and just about the same at Luffield. He really is pushing. The Scirocco of Christopher also becomes a tricycle momentarily midway through Luffield as the pair of them accelerate out of Woodcote, about to embark on another lap. Our race leader, Michael Epps, has long gone at the front of the field. So instead, it's all about this battle for second, controlled by Stevens. Ivans to the inside of Paul Taylor, and he gains the place. Simon Tomlinson, the next driver, to take his turn to try and challenge Taylor in this fight for 4th, 5th and 6th. And Tomlinson powers past Taylor as they arrive into Beckett's, but Taylor keeping his foot in at the wheel of the Sat, looks to fight back, and indeed does so. Tomlinson then back in front for the left-hander, but runs wide, and that may just give Taylor the advantage through Chapel Curve. As meanwhile, Lee Christopher in pursuit of John Stevens down the Hanger Straight. Headlights ablaze for Lee Christopher, just to remind Stevens that he is there and poised to pass if he possibly can. Through Stowe Corner, pair progress, and on the brakes into Vale. Christopher has been shadowing Stevens now for a couple of laps, but can he get close enough to really force the move? Meanwhile, Taylor has found a way back ahead of Simon Tomlinson, and we are getting towards the closing stages, so both Lee Christopher and Simon Tomlinson need to have a little bit of a hurry up here. They want to gain those places between now and the checkered flag. Tomlinson to the inside of Taylor as Christopher to the outside of John Stevens on the brakes into Village. Now does that give... No, it doesn't give Lee Christopher the inside line for the loop, but we're on the last lap, and so Lee Christopher rapidly running out of time to demote John Stevens. The pair of them head out of Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. And Christopher's got the run here, in fact, on the Passat. He draws alongside as they charge towards Brooklands, and Lee Christopher is able to squeeze through. He saves the very best until last, and Lee Christopher up into second place. John Stevens having to defend that third position as well. He'll try and fight back as they head through Luffield. It's going to be a race victory for Michael Epps. He does the clean sweep here at Silverstone in the MaximumGroup.net VAG Trophy, with second place going to Lee Christopher just from John Stevens. Absolutely thrilling fight for second place, and Lee Christopher leaving it until just 2 corners to go to make the pass. It's where you're at the flag that counts, and Christopher, the hand out of the window, jubilant celebration. So it was the win for Michael Epps from Lee Christopher and John Stevens. Paul Taylor did hold off Simon Tomlinson, and James Parr likewise raced through to 8th. Rob Allen winning Class B in 12th from Barry Cully, and Chris Mowen in 16th.
I mean, that was a demolition. I mean, I look at the timing screens, every lap was purple. It was a personal best every single lap. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was on good form today. I was really hoping to get a session out where I just, get the best out of it. And the last, I think I got 24.3, which I was really happy with.
3 podiums in one weekend. The CMR team and ISN, Kings of Tyres and JW Symes, once again, many thanks.
Good weekend for me this weekend, yeah, really good. I was just lucky that Rob wasn't in the first race, so I got the win on that one.
So let's have a look at the championship standings, and in Class A it's Paul Taylor who leads the way from John Stevens, Lee Christopher and Tom Swain. Class B, Rob Allen heads the way comfortably with a great scrap for second between Chris Mowen and Barry Cully.
Great racing here at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Join us in just over a month's time when we revisit the Snetterton circuit.